Shalom, it's No Limit Eddie. You saw the thumbnail and you saw the title. Today we're going to be talking about the Vanessa Canby interview that she did with Anna from the Acheampong family. If you're thinking about moving to Ghana, you need to watch this video. I am a 22-year-old American who moved to Africa about a year ago, and on this channel I share my thoughts and experiences with the hope of making your transition from America to Africa as smooth as possible. So if that sounds cool to you, please subscribe to the No Limit Eddie channel and definitely like today's video because it helps the channel out a ton. Now let's go ahead and give you guys some quick backstory. Vanessa Canby is a Ghanaian YouTuber. She basically got pretty popular doing house tours in Ghana. I am subscribed to her channel. All right, so a video of hers, shout out to Vanessa Canby, by the way, a video of hers pops up in my home feed talking about the Acheampong family, right? Or it was a video interview with the Acheampong family. Now, the Acheampong family, quick background on them. They were born and raised basically in the Netherlands. Half of their dads are from Ghana, and then their moms are from the Netherlands. So they're half Ghanaian, half Netherlandian, or I don't know how you would call that. And so at some point they decided to take a sabbatical, a long vacation over in Ghana. I think they said it was supposed to be 8 months. They went there for the 8 months, but they ended up loving it to the point where they've been there for the past 2 years. Over those 2 years, man, they connected with a lot of the big YouTubers that are over in Ghana, Watermaya, Vanessa Canby, Natural Ghana Girl, all the big people that's over there. They've done videos with and collabs with and helped them to grow their channel to right now sitting at almost 80K subscribers. So it was surprising to me when the video interview came up with Vanessa Canby talking about they had left Ghana, they're never returning, all kind of stuff like that. So I'm going to be basically giving my reaction of that video today because I do think there's a lot of gems that Anna from the Acheampong family really dropped in this video with Vanessa Canby that are going to be helpful to people who are looking to move to Ghana, but people who are looking to move to Africa, period. All right, now I am going to actually play the clips of the video interview on the screen so you guys can actually see the clips and I can go ahead and break it down. Vanessa Canby, please don't copyright strike my video. I'm doing a reaction video and I'm going to credit you in the comment section, or not in the comment section, in the description and stuff like that, as well as the Acheampong family.
Became a little challenging. Like, we really wanted to stay, but Accra is a very, very expensive city to be in. I think a lot of people really underestimate that and think that, oh, you're moving to Africa, so you're gonna cut away like 1/5 of anything. But it's actually more expensive than our life in the Netherlands.
All right, so you guys saw that first clip. Now I have multiple videos popping up on the screen right now talking about this. Now with me being here in Africa, okay, if this is your first time watching my channel, I lived in Tanzania for 6 months. I'm here in Egypt. I've been living in Egypt for the past 6 months as well. But basically with me being in Africa and making, videos and things like that, I've had people comment things like you can find a house for $1 and I can spend $20 a month in rent, and I can, basically thinking that you can live in Africa basically for free, and I love what Anna said in this clip, that people just think they're going to come here and dramatically, things are going to be so much cheaper. But in reality, it's probably not going to be unless you severely change up your lifestyle. And cheap is relative. A lot of times when people are in America and thinking about coming to Africa, this is what happens, okay? They compare how much a banana costs in the States versus how much a banana costs in Ghana. Or a t-shirt costs in the States versus how much a t-shirt costs in Ghana, okay? And what happens is this right here. They are saying, wow, it's so much cheaper in Africa. I need to move to Africa. Not realizing that their income, 9 times out of 10, if they're working a 9-to-5 job, does not transfer with them to Africa. So if you're making, let's say, $15 an hour, okay? You're making $15 an hour, you're working a regular job in Amazon, okay? You're not going to be making $15 an hour in Africa. When you are not making $15 an hour anymore and you're not really making any money, you're just using your savings, it's going to be cheap in the beginning because you're going to have a large sum of savings, but as that savings begins to dwindle down, well, what used to be cheap is no longer cheap, right? Cheap is all relative. So if you come in with a large amount of savings, everything's going to be cheap in the beginning, but as you begin to spend those savings, now you have half of what you had before. What used to be cheap is no longer as cheap, right? And like I said, Anna has a whole video on her channel kind of talking about this a little bit, and so that's something you need to be mindful of, right? A second thing that's crucial about this clip right here is that things cost more in Africa. Like she said at the end of the clip, her life in Accra was more expensive than her life in the Netherlands. Why? It's because of supply and demand. What we want as Westerners is in limited supply in these African countries. And so because it's in limited supply in these African countries, what happens is when a lot of us move over there, the demand increases, but the supply doesn't increase as quickly as the demand. And so there's going to be a premium on everything that you desire, right? So let's say you're used to eating Oreo cookies. The typical African is not eating Oreo cookies, right? And so as a result of that, they may have the people who do import them, they're not importing a large amount of it. So if they cannot import a large amount of it, they're going to have to get smaller quantities. If you get smaller quantities, it's going to cost more per unit. If it costs more per unit, you're going to have to sell it for more per unit. If you have to sell it for more per unit, right? But then there's an increased demand. Now you can even charge a higher markup because somebody's going to pay it. And so that's kind of what happens is what a pack of Oreos may cost you $2 in the States, it may cost you $6 in Ghana. Where a pack of Ritz may cost you $3 in the States, it may cost you $8 in Tanzania because of the supply and demand, right? There's a limited supply, but it's an increase in demand as more of us move over there. And so things end up costing more, especially if you want to continue to live a Western lifestyle over in these African countries.
So when I calculated it, yes, but at the moment I was just spending because there was money coming in anyway. So I think in the first year we just lived as if we were on vacation. And when you just come to Ghana.
Now, okay, that clip was a freaking amazing, all right? I love that clip. Shout out to Anna for this. Like I said, I feel like she did a real breakdown on this. If you watch some of my past videos, pop them up on the screen. I'll make a playlist of the videos you should watch if you like this video. I talk about this all the time. There is tourist mode and there is resident mode. When you first come to Africa, right, you're in something that I call the honeymoon phase. Like everything is just so beautiful. The grass is so green. The sun is so vibrant. The people are so nice. The smiles are so bright. You know, everything is you're just in honeymoon mode, right? And that's also a lot of times tourist mode because you've never been outside the country before. And so, yeah, you want to eat the local food here. You want to get this little gift here. You want to get this thing here. You want to go to this market there. And you're kind of just, I want to see this. I want to see this. I want to do this. You're just spending money, like almost a little bit recklessly, but you're basically in tourist mode. All right. And you have to understand why, if you're moving to Africa, you can't do that because you're going to run out of your funds so quickly. As a resident, as a tourist, when you first come in, you're going to be comparing prices to what they are in the States. But you got to remember, you don't live in the States anymore. You don't earn the States income anymore. You're not from the States anymore. You are now a resident of the country that you're looking to move to, right? You're looking to make your new home. Balenciaga jacket. I got this here in Egypt. It cost me, I think, $15. Now, in the States, this jacket might cost $400, whatever. The result, I asked myself, okay, what would a local pay for this jacket, right? Because I see locals wearing the Supremes, I see locals wearing the Palm Angels, locals wearing all kind of stuff like this. Now, I don't ask myself, okay, what would I pay in the States versus what I'll pay here? That's a stupid thing to do because you're not in the States. You need to be paying what the locals are paying. And once you start to think like that, that's when you become more into resident mode. So if I know the average Egyptian only makes $70 per month, and you're trying to quote me $7 for this jacket, but I see locals wearing these jackets, you're lying to me. There's no way that local is paying their whole full salary, monthly salary on a jacket. And so when you start to think like that, that's resident mode. When you start to say, okay, what is a local price? Not what's a good price in comparison to the States, because you're not in the States. What is a local price for this item?
Right. So if I look back at it now, I'm sure that we could have invested that money and tried to spend it much smarter than what we did. But anything happens for a reason, I feel, and we really enjoyed the time that we were here. The amount exactly $56,000. Yeah,
in 2 years.
No, a year.
In 1 year.
Yeah, but that's like including school fees.
So, like she said, looking back, they probably could have spent the money a little bit smarter. They're probably thinking about like the things they bought that they shouldn't have bought at that price, right? They should have bargained a little bit more. They should have negotiated a little bit more. They should have not bought all these certain different things. They should have been a little bit more frugal with their money. Okay, and speaking on that right there, she said she spent $56,000 in 1 year, guys, in 1 year. And she said she didn't even have any idea how much she spent. She had to go back and calculate it. So this is what I'm saying on the fact that you need to, when you move to these African countries, keep track of your money. So what I recommend people to do when they do move to Africa, firstly, is to, once they get the housing set up, to kind of live how they normally live, for about a week. And track it all in the app, right? In the app called MoneyFile. How much you spent on the Uber, how much you spent on food, how much you spent on utilities, how much you spent on everything. Like calculate it all up, and then we'll input it all into the app. And then at the end of that week, look back at the app and see what you spent on what categories. And then from there, you can say, okay, whoa, I'm spending way too much money on Uber. So let's figure out a way to reduce that. Whoa, I'm spending way too much money on, tacos. I need to find a way to reduce that. And then once you kind of go ahead and do that, you can plan more effectively. Like, okay, I want to spend $50 a week on this, $100 a week on that, $200 a week on this, and then you can plan more effectively in that sense. And what I did when I was in Tanzania, I would pull out cash, and then I had these little envelopes. So I'll write something on there like Uber, I'll write food, I'll write housekeeper, like I'll write different little things on there, and then put the money in those envelopes, and then pull it out. And once the envelope was finished spending, then I didn't have any more money in that category until the next week, you know, and that's kind of how I would do it. Might be helpful to you guys to try that as well. Also, one thing I want to mention, like when people find out that I moved to Africa when I was 21 years old with no job, they always want to know, like, how do you sustain yourself? How do you maintain yourself and things like that? And I always just say, well, I make money online, but that answer is usually not satisfactory to most people. You know, they want to know, how do I do it? And if that's you, good news. But if you look in the description right now, I have a course. It's called 30 Days to 1K Blueprint. You should enroll within that course. You know, in that course, man, I'm going to teach you basically everything you need to know about making money online, selling on a platform called Etsy. All right. Now, with that being said, you know, this course is $99 investment, but you're going to learn how to make, you know, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month, you know, selling on a platform called Etsy. And it's very simple to do, actually. It's very simple to do. So I suggest you guys click on that link and check it out if you're serious about moving to Africa and you want to have a stream of income that can kind of help you to sustain yourself while you are here, you know. And I love the fact that I do YouTube because I can kind of break down a lot of these myths people have, you know what I mean? About moving to Africa, it's not really that difficult. You know what I mean? You don't have to save an abundance amount of money. I'm somebody who prefers cash flow over savings, because if I came here with my savings, I would have been broke a long time ago. But because I've been cash flowing, it's been allowing me to sustain myself, right? This last 12 months and things of that nature. And so, and to move to 2 different countries within those 12 months and different things of that nature. So I suggest you guys click on the link in the description, and enroll within the course today. Invest in $99, you know what I mean? And get the information that you need to know to kind of get where you want to get to, which is the continent, and which is staying in the continent, all right? Or staying on the continent, all right? All right, I'll break it down like this. There's something called Parkinson's Law, okay? Parkinson's Law says that humans tend to use up all that we have in front of us. So the reason why people are obese in America is because of portion sizes. If somebody gives you a Big Mac, and a Big Mac is this big, right, you're going to eat that whole Big Mac. But if somebody gives you a Big Mac that's this big, you're going to eat that whole Big Mac, right? So because of the portion sizes are bigger in America, we're still going to eat up all that we have in front of us. It's the same thing with money. If you have $100,000 in savings, let's say, versus somebody who has $10,000 in savings, what's going to happen is when you have $100,000 in savings, you're going to live a $100,000 life. When you have $10,000 in savings, you're going to live a $10,000 life. So instead of getting a house that is $300, you're going to get the house that's $500 because you can afford that, right? Or instead of eating at the restaurant that's $10 to feed your whole family, you're going to eat at the restaurant that's $20 to feed your whole family. And so no matter what, you're going to tend to use up what you have in front of you because you're just going to adjust your life to the income that you have. And so what happens is, when people come over here with savings, they're like, I came over here with 30,000, 60,000, 100,000, but it's gone. Like, how is that possible? It's because you just adjusted your life to the amount you had saved. And so that's why I prioritize cash flow. If you know you have $1,000 coming in every month, you can keep that savings that you have in your savings and just work off of that $1,000 a month. And you can consume all of that $1,000 a month, and not stress about, I'm going too low, because you have all that money that's tucked away. And so that's why I prioritize cash flow. So that's something to keep in mind when you guys looking to move to Africa. This is not financial advice, but this is my experience. Like I said, prioritize income versus savings, all right?
Now you're in the Netherlands. You've come here on a holiday or a work trip, I should say, for 3 weeks. Yeah. What has those last 6 months been like in Holland for you? How's life been? What have you been up to?
Really difficult. Really, really difficult. So the doctor actually diagnosed me with something called SAD, which I didn't know what existed, but I was just not feeling good, and I was bringing the kids to school, coming home and just sleep all day. I would cry sometimes out of nothing, not understanding.
I was in Tanzania for like 5 months, and then I went to America for like 6 days to I had some people do some things to me in the States that I needed to go and rectify and fix, so that way I can continue to live on the continent of Africa, right? So I had to end up going back to LA for like around 6 days. And when I went back to LA for those 6 days, it was low-key just like, it was miserable. It was very miserable. Everybody seemed wicked. Everybody seemed evil. Everybody seemed to have some type of hatred and animosity towards me. You know, the food was just artificial. Like I kept eating and eating and eating and eating, and I wasn't getting full. You know what I mean? And in Africa, I eat 1 meal a day, and that's kind of how I go about my life. But in the States, I was eating again. It was like the food wasn't even fulfilling me. It wasn't even nourishing me at all. You know, it was a very stressful time for me, like beyond stressful when I was in the States. And for me, I can't go back there anymore. But when I was watching, like I said, after I watched this interview with Vanessa Camby and Anna, I went over to Anna's channel, which is the Acheampong family. And, you know, I watched a lot of her videos, and she was talking about how sad she was over in Netherlands and Amsterdam and things like that. You know, I think this is completely true. Once you kind of experience Africa, you experience real life. You experience what true life is meant to be. You know, you experience vibrance. You experience sun in its most direct capacity. You experience or non-GMO fruits and vegetables. You experience fish fresh from the sea. Once you kind of go back to a place, a so-called developed nation, it's like you start to see things from a whole different perspective, and you can't enjoy it. It sucks so much because once you go back, it's just like it's not the same, you know what I mean? It's not the same, and you once you come to Africa, you don't really want to leave Africa, and that's why I made, you know, AfricanMadeEasy.com, because I do want to really help people to be able to stay here for a long period of time. And the biggest reason why people have to go back is financial, you know, money. And so I really am grateful for the Acheampong family for sharing their experiences. I'm super grateful that they were just upfront and transparent about it. Letting people to know, like, hey, like, you should move to Africa, most definitely, but you should be mindful of the cost of it, and you should be mindful of, you know, the situations that could arise, you know what I mean, when you do make that play, like how you should probably operate a little bit better.
She left. What advice would you have for them?
I think that people underestimate coming and living in an African country. It doesn't cut your costs down, not at all. I think it costs more. But if you have a family house or a home that is your own, you are by all means will be financially okay, because that is such a big of a burden that's taken off. Yeah. But I think
in conclusion, man, I 100% agree with Anna. People underestimate what it takes to live in Africa. Okay, now I would say like this: it depends on the country you move to. Because Ghana is expensive. That's one of the reasons why I didn't move to Ghana. I wouldn't have been able to afford moving to Ghana, and I was realistic and honest with myself about that. Where I was from in LA, I was paying $1,700 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. And when I was in Tanzania, I had a 5-bedroom house with a servant's quarter and a chicken coop and everything like that, a lot of land, fruit trees, for around $400 a month. And so, yes, it does significantly cut your costs, but at the same time, be mindful of the fact that I think one thing that her perspective was from Ghana, my perspective was from Tanzania and Egypt. One thing to be mindful of is it will cut your costs, but your income also is cut. And so now you have to do things in perspective of income. Okay, if you don't have constant income coming in, you know, $100 a month for rent could become expensive if you only have $1,000 in your savings. So it can play off of that. So be mindful of what you have coming in every month. That kind of determines what's expensive and what's cheap. And also another thing that I do want to mention, you know, within this whole video, was the fact that she mentioned that, you know, not everything is cheaper in Africa. Some things are actually more expensive in Africa than they are in the States. Like I talked about earlier, supply and demand. So, you know, come to Africa with a realistic perspective. Understand that if you want to live cheap, you can, 100%, but you're going to have to adjust your lifestyle tremendously, and you're going to have to live much more locally than you're used to. Which most people think they can do, but when they come to actually doing it, they really can't do it. And so be mindful of that, guys. Other than that, like you said, just take it seriously. I want you guys all to go over to Vanessa Camby's channel and, you know, maybe drop a no limit in the comment section. Go over to Acheampong family, drop a no limit in the comment section. You know, if you happen to find out about them through me, you know, and just support everybody in the African continent. You know what I mean? Rock with everybody. You know, I try to rock with everybody as well. And that's really it, man. Like the video if you have not liked it already. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And make sure you guys drop me a comment, man. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you feel like it was a good video, if it was a bad video. You know, things of that nature, man. I love you guys. See you guys in the next one. Y'all willing. Peace.